What makes somebody a great marketer? What makes someone a great salesperson? If you're into marketing, if you are into advertising or sales, or if you own a business, this is going to be a very important video for you. In this video, I'm going to discuss something extremely valuable that can help you increase your sales, that can help you increase your reach, and that can help you just make you a better marketer than the majority of the marketers out there. Okay. So in the last video, we talked about something called as phenomenology. So, to simplify, phenomenology is basically our subjective conscious experience, right? How do I feel? What is my experience? What is my observation? How do I actually see the world? So, that is phenomenology, my subjective experience, right? When it comes to decision making, when it comes to buying something, when it comes to going on a date, when it comes to making a friend, when it comes to choosing a company to work with, objective reality often is not as important as my subjective reality. Okay. The same thing happens in sales, marketing, advertising, and business. A product can be objectively amazing, objectively very good, but can perform very poorly in a market. On the other hand, a product can be very mediocre and very average. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's is not a great product. Okay. McDonald's is just very good at being average. Everywhere you go around the world, you're going to get the same kind of McDonald's experience, right? But if you go to, let's say, a five-star hotel, Hilton, if you go to if you go to Taj, or if you go to some very high-end restaurant, right, the experience is going to be different, but they are not going to be as popular, they're not going to be as successful as McDonald's. Okay. So my subjective experience matters the most when I'm trying to buy something, when I'm trying to watch something, consume something, opt for a product or service. And my subjective experience is guided by two systems in my brain, system 1 and system 2, right? There is a great book, if you want to know more about this. The name of the book is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. So if you can read the book, that is a little bit hard book to read, but if you can read the book, you will get a very amazing understanding of what I'm talking about. But in order to simplify, just let me tell you that there are two systems in our brain through which we act in the world, that guide us in our day-to-day decision making. System 1 and system 2. System 1 is automatic, reflexive, emotional, very old, very primitive. It's very powerful. System 1 can overtake the system 2 whenever need be. Okay. System 2 is logical. System 2 takes a lot of effort. System 2 requires a lot of energy. System 2 is slow, but system 2 is very average. System 2 is very accurate, not average, very accurate. Okay. So for example, when you go to your work and when you are given a new project, you have to sit and think about it and try to remember that whenever you get a new project, whenever you are whenever you have to start working on a new project or a new product or a new service or a new offer or a new pitch, you will dread it. You're going to hate it a little bit. Why? Because you require a lot of effort to sit and think and make plans in your head, and you'll have to start from scratch. So this is where you are operating from system 2. When you are trying to file taxes, when you are trying to when you're trying to kind of buy a laptop, let's say, right, you're kind of operating from system 2. But almost 90% or more, even I would go as far as to say that 95% and more of our day-to-day decisions is directly influenced by system 1. So it doesn't matter who you are. You can be a CEO of a great company, you can be a student, you can be a housewife, you can be a business owner, you can be a marketer, you can be a salesperson, you can be a college student, you can be an old person, you can be a woman, a child, you can be anybody, right? 95% or more of your decisions are going to be directly influenced by system 1, and there is nothing you can do about it. It is impossible for you to logically assess and rationally think about all the decisions you have to make in your day-to-day life, because there is simply too much information, there is simply too much variability in life, right? So we rely on shortcuts. These shortcuts are called heuristics biases. right? Heuristics and biases. Heuristics and biases are shortcut processes for decision making that help us navigate something complex and achieve our goal. So, understanding these shortcuts, understanding these heuristics, biases, understanding the emotions that affect us, understanding like what are the natural drives and motivations that trigger us, that kind of push us to make a decision. It's very important for a business owner. It's very important for an entrepreneur, for a marketer, for a salesperson, for an advertiser, and even if you are not into any of these things, you still have to interact with people, you still have to influence people, you still have to convince people, you still have to make decisions on a day-to-day basis. So this video and what you're going to learn in this video is still going to be very useful for you. Okay, so now that you have understood that much, let's keep it on the side. We'll come back to that. Let's jump to a new concept. All of these concepts are going to be intertwined and tangled and tied with each other. So at the end of the video, all of these concepts are going to make sense at once. Okay, the next concept we are going to talk about is RAS, Reticular Activating System, or Selective Focus. What is RAS? In the mind of all human beings, now please understand that these systems that I'm talking about, these systems are not like physical systems, but these systems are kind of shortcuts that our brain uses to make decisions, to operate in day-to-day life, right? Because reality is too complex. To understand reality as it is, it'll take you years, maybe like centuries. Nobody has ever been able to understand reality as it is. Okay? Reality is just too complex. There are too many variables. There is too much information. There are too many things out there that you could be paying attention to. Okay? For example, right now I'm sitting in a room and mostly you're focusing on me. Mostly your focus, if you're watching this video, your focus is going to be on me, right? You might not have noticed that, like there is a kind of fuse board. You might not have noticed like a lot of other things, like there is a helmet that is kept right behind my head. You might now not have noticed a lot of other things, right? You might not have noticed, for example, a lot of things that we generally just take for granted and we don't notice it. For example, look ahead. Right now, let's do an experiment. Look ahead. So you'll be surprised to know that you are always seeing your nose, right? Just if you focus, if you think about your nose, then you realize that, oh yes, I am actually looking at my nose by default. So whenever you're looking ahead, you're always automatically looking at your nose, but your brain cuts it out because it's not important for you. Your brain cuts out the job of your brain, the job of a lot of your consciousness, your brain and your nervous system is to cut out almost all of the reality which is not directly important or relevant for you. Okay, so your brain focuses and tries to focus on only a few things that are important for you, that are valuable for you, that can help you survive, that can help you rise in like the social status, that can help you win in life, that can help you succeed, that can help you get food, that can help you get shelter, that can help you attract a mate, like attract a guy or a girl, that can help you make your life easy or make your life more convenient, that can help you minimize effort in some areas of life. So these are the things that your brain is naturally looking for without like ever telling you. Like your brain is not going to tell you that, hey, these are the things that I'm looking for, but it is always doing the same thing. Okay, so RAS, Reticular Activating System, Selective Focus. Why is this system in our brain? Because the reality is too complex. There is too much. There is infinite information out there. There are too many things happening at the same time. You cannot focus on everything. So your brain has a mechanism that cuts out everything else, right? And it focuses on things that you pay attention to. Now let's look at RAS from a perspective of system 1 and system 2. Okay, in system 2, what we would have is active mode attention, right? So this is how your attention works. Usually when we think about paying attention to something, or when we think about attention, we think about like a spotlight, right? Like for example, if I tell you like, hey, like take out your hand in front of your face and pay attention to your fingerprints, to all the minute details, to like the curves of lines to your hands, if you have any marks and all. So pay attention to all of these things. Now, if you are a normal human being, you will be easily able to do this. You will be able to guide your attention, manipulate your attention, and focus on what's happening on your hand. You'll be easily able to do it, right? This is called an active attention mode, right? You can call this an active mode. So in active mode, when you are in an active mode, what happens is your attention is guided by your goal, your desires, your intentions, right? The goal right now is, I have told you to pay attention to your hand. It can also be guided on a problem. For example, ask yourself this question: what is the one thing that you can do today that you are avoiding, that you know that you need to do, that will make your day better, right? It can be you have not cleaned your clothes, you have not done your laundry, or you have not paid your electricity bill, maybe you have not paid the rent, maybe you need to clean the floor or the bed, or maybe you need to go and get some groceries, maybe you need to make some important phone calls that you're procrastinating over, so yeah, all of these things. So when you ask yourself this question, your attention is diverted towards a problem or a goal. So, right? So active mode of attention, active mode can work in two ways. Goal oriented, when you have a goal, right? When you have a goal, then you can focus on this. Or problem oriented, if you have a problem, if you have a challenge and you want to find a solution to that problem. So your brain can automatically do that. This is one of the reasons I really find the way our brain works. Like this is a side note, but if you can train your brain a little bit, if you can learn a little bit, if you can understand critical thinking, problem solving, if you can understand a little bit basics of psychology and how we function, our brains can be an extremely effective tool, right? Our brains are so amazing. It's just that most people do not know how to use their brain, how to utilize their brain. Most people are not dumb. You just simply don't know how to use the full power of your brain, right? And there is a system that you can learn. Like if you actually work on it, if you actually pay attention to it, there are things that you can do to improve the productivity, right, of your brain, and you can utilize your brain to its potential, not 100%, but as much as you can, right? So let's get back to the point. Now there is another thing. This is system 2, right? System 2 leads to active mode attention, like active goal seeking and active problem solving. But what does system 1 does? Let's go to system 1. System 1 is, for example, when you are just taking an evening walk. When you're taking an evening walk, what gets your attention? Where do you choose to pay attention to? What attracts your attention? Let's say you're just scrolling on social media. You're not really looking for something. You're not really looking to learn something or complete a task or solve a problem or achieve a goal. You're not looking for any of these things. But what are you doing on social media? You are simply browsing, right? When you go on Netflix, the option is browse. The option is not search, right? Because a lot of times we are not in the active mode. We are a lot of times in the default mode. This is called default mode, right? In which you are simply existing, simply browsing. So when you go on Netflix or when you go on YouTube, you are shown videos, because almost always 99% of the time you do not open YouTube with the intention of searching for only one video and then closing YouTube and getting back to your task. When you open YouTube, you randomly look for a video that attracts your attention, you go watch it. If that video is fun, if that video gives you a lot of energy, fun, dopamine, you continue watching it, and the next video suggestion, you almost always tend to go on the next video suggestion and you start watching that. So this is where you are in your default mode. This is called default. This, I don't know what it is technically called, but I am calling it active mode and default mode just for the simplicity of understanding, right? So default mode of attention is when you're not paying attention to a goal or a problem. You're simply existing. You're simply just taking in the world, right? Like just walking around in a mall. When you're just walking around in the mall, what gets your attention? Maybe like something fun is happening, a lot of people are shouting, having fun. That might get your attention, right? But when you left your house to go to the mall, you did not go with the intention of finding people who are having fun and shouting, right? No, it's naturally, if somebody is having fun, if there is a group of people, or if there are a group of people that are, very high energy, having fun, laughing, talking out loudly, partying, dancing, singing, your attention is automatically going to be directed towards them without your effort, right? So you can say that your attention is in your control, but also not in your control. It's like you're breathing, right? For example, when you are listening to my video, notice something very subtle. Note, focus your attention, or put your attention on your breathing. You will notice that your breath is actually making some sound, right? But when you are listening to me, when you're listening to this video, you are not able to pay attention to that, right? Because your entire focus would be in the video. So our attention we can manually, actively direct our attention to challenges, goals, and problems, but mostly our attention is just idle, right? It can also go to things by itself. It can also be attracted to different things by itself, right? For example, if you are just walking in the mall and just taking an evening walk and sipping on coffee, and if you see a very attractive girl, or attractive girl walk by, your attention is automatically going to go there, right? If you see a photo of an animal, like a lion or a tiger or a pet or a cat, your attention is going to automatically go there. So there are certain things that snatch your attention without your willingness, without your consent, without your intention, without your will, right? As a marketer and as a salesperson, now this is the important thing that you have to understand. As a marketer and a salesperson, understanding how to manipulate and how to channelize default attention of your consumers and active attention of your consumers. You have to build your marketing strategy, your creatives, your copy, any kind of things that you're putting out, on social media, or in the real world. You have to understand that you have to leverage both of these things. How can you leverage the active mode of attention? Ask yourself, like in a context, are your consumers actively looking for something, right? For example, in my day-to-day life, when I go around, when I ride my bike around, when I go around the city, I almost never look at a supplement store, right? Like a store that is selling supplements like protein shakes or anything. I never look at that. But when I'm going to the gym, if there is a supplement store in my street, I almost always look at that supplement shop, right? I almost always look at other gyms in my area. I almost always notice other people who are also going to the gym at the same time, right? But in my day to day, like if I am, let's say, on a date with my girlfriend, I do not notice that. I do not notice if there are gyms in the area. I'm not scanning for that, right? So understanding how to manipulate active mode of attention and default mode of attention can be extremely valuable for your marketing and advertising and sales strategy. Okay. So most of the great marketers, most of the great campaigns are built around that. How to channelize your active mode. So where are the places where you can channelize active and default mode? For example, Google search. When somebody goes on Google and search, let's say I go on Google and search copywriting courses. So I have a goal in mind. I am not just randomly searching. If I go on Google and search, what is the best Porsche car, or what is the fastest Porsche car, right? When I go on Google and when I search this, right now what I'm doing is I'm engaging in active attention. My active mode is engaged, right? So things like normal things might not attract my attention, because I am looking for something, right? I'm looking to learn something, or I'm looking to buy something, I'm looking to explore something, I'm looking to maybe just check something out, right? So when I'm searching like copywriting courses near me or marketing agencies near me, so I'm in a different context of mind. I'm thinking about something different. Different things are going to attract my attention. But if I'm scrolling on social media like Facebook or Twitter, then you have to understand that you have to make ads that engage my default mood network. Okay. Once you start doing this, once you start working on this, this is just an idea. Right? This is an idea, which is a very nuanced idea, which is based in psychology. And this channel, Ramsy, is all about psychological marketing. It's all about understanding human behavior, what makes us want to do something, right? Understanding behavioral psychology or behavioral marketing, right? Marketing, sales, advertisement is all about changing, persuading, influencing people's behavior, right? You want them to buy something and you want them to buy something quick. And psychology has the answer. Psychology, behavioral psychology, cognitive psychology has the answer. And as a student, as a lifelong student of psychology, how people act, human nature, these are some very important insights that I wanted to share with you. So this is it. And for today's video, in the next video, we're going to talk about some other, like in the next video, we're going to talk about something related to this, right? We are going to build a series of videos. So in the next video we are going to talk about something else. We are going to talk about values. We are going to talk about different kind of values, right? So if you like this video, subscribe, share this video to other people, comment what was your favorite part or what was something new that you learned, or comment what kind of videos or what kind of problems that you're facing in your marketing, advertising and sales, so that I can help you solve it. Okay. Have a nice day. I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.